Shalom, and welcome to Qol Elohim. I am Brother Yakir El of Beth Yahweh, located in Baltimore, Maryland. We are concluding our current lesson, Shema Yisrael, based on the passage from Devarim chapter 6 and verse 4, which reads, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. We will be looking at one mighty one and Father of all in our passages today, which will begin in 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 4. So then, concerning the eating of food offered to idols, we know that an idol is no matter at all in the world, and that there is no other El but one. For even if there are so-called mighty ones, whether in heaven or on earth, as there are many gods and many lords. For a moment, take your mind back to the lesson we did, Wa Sha'alu Little Olam, dealing with Eliyahu Halavi and the battle on Mount Carmel. And there were 450 prophets of Baal and 400 prophets of Asherah, a total of 850 prophets. In other words, symbolizing God's many, Lord's many. Food for thought, my brothers and sisters. Let's continue. Verse 6. For us there is one El, the Father, from whom all came and for whom we live, and one Adonai, Yahushua Mashiach, through whom all came and through whom we live. However, not all have this knowledge, but some, being aware of the idol, until now eat it as having been offered to an idol, so their conscience being weak is defiled. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, beginning at verse 32. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before you, since the day that Elohim created man on the earth. So let's go back to the time when Adam was created. And ask from one end of the heavens to the other end of the heavens, whether there has been a word as great as this, or has been heard like it up until this point. Has a people ever heard the voice of Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard and lived? Or has Elohim tried to go and take himself a nation from the midst of a nation by trials and by signs, and by wonders, and by battle, and by a strong hand, and an outstretched arm, and by great fearsome deeds, according to all that Yahweh your mighty one did for you in Mitzrayim, that is Egypt, before your eyes. Consider the thought behind what Moshe is telling Yisrael. He is encouraging them before he's taken off the scene. Verse 35. You have been shown it, Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, to know, so that you have this knowledge, that Yahweh himself is Elohim, mighty ones. There is no one beside him. From the heavens he let you hear his voice to instruct you, and on earth he showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 17. For Yahweh your mighty one is God of gods and Lord of lords. So you have gods many, you have lords many, but Yahweh is God, Yahweh is Lord. the great El, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. Now, in reference to the passages we read which refer to gods and lords, it is not an indication that there are other mighty ones. But let's see what the scriptures teach. Jeremiah chapter 16, beginning at verse 19. O Yahweh, my strength and my stronghold, and my refuge, in the day of distress, the Gentiles shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers have inherited only falsehood, futility, and there is no value in them. Would a man make mighty ones for himself, which are not mighty ones? And what you find as far as the God's many and the Lord's many, they were created, they were manufactured by men. Verse 21, therefore see, I am causing them to know. This time I cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahweh. In our last passage, Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 8, which reads, I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my glory I do not give to another, nor my praise to idols. Question, who do you serve? Are you a servant of Yahweh Elohim, or do you serve another? He that has an ear, let him hear the word of Yah Avinu. I am Brother Yakiel of Beth Yahweh, located in Baltimore, Maryland, bidding all of you shalom.